seriously, stop. I know this is a new podcast for you, for everybody, because it's the first episode ever, but there is an added little clip that was forgotten, lost, I don't know how to explain it. My brain just went, woo, out the window, and it's added on to the very end of this podcast. It is, and it's a discussion of some stuff that happened today. You will like it, I hope. But yeah, watch it. It's at the end. It's after the extra. Go. Anyways, welcome. Sorry, everybody. Welcome to Graphic Stitches. Enjoy the show. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Graphic Stitches podcast. This is a knitting, spinning, crocheting, basically any sort of fiber love podcast, as well as the occasional piece of art and graphic design, and the like, whenever those pop up. My name is JB Cohen. I am your host for this podcast, and you can find me as JB Cohen on Ravelry, Instagram, and Facebook, should you ever feel the need to look me up on Facebook. Though I warn you guys, I'm not really there. In fact, if you look me up, you're probably going to find a rant about Facebook itself, but that's a different story. As well, there is a group on Ravelry for this podcast, and the link of such will be in the down here. I don't know if it's a dibbly-doo or a down bar or what have you, unless it's like you're watching this like 5 years from when it was first posted, then it could be down here, up here, or over here, or over here. It's, I don't know, YouTube's. Right. Anyways, so that was the show's introduction and where you can find me. How about a little quick about me and my yarny history? I first learned to knit the first time in 4th grade. Did it for a couple of weeks. Actually lost my knitting and, lost interest. Mostly because I think I lost my knitting. I picked it back up again when I was 20 or 21 after I actually, I picked it back up again after I had ended in a relationship with an abusive ex, and my therapist suggested knitting as a form of stress relief and all that sort of stuff. So I do knit as a form of relaxation therapy, also because it's just fun, but, I mean, it's very helpful, and it's great, and I love it, and it is a great hobby, and a surprisingly amazing post-apocalyptic life skill to have. Yep. And all y'all are running out of clothes in the zombie apocalypse, us knitters. We'll be able to make more clothes. I'm sorry. That's my excuse for this post-apocalyptic life skill. I also crochet. I've been crocheting for about 3.5, 4 years. One of my best friends convinced me to stop being so snobbish and or afraid of it and take it up. And unfortunately, she passed away in an accident, and she'd been trying to convince me not to be so afraid of it, as I said, so I picked it up. I figured it was something she was trying to get me to do before she passed, and yeah, there will be more about that later. So I have, and it's fun, and I kind of went gung-ho and crochet for a while and put down the knitting, just because I needed to do something like that. And as I said, there's spinning in here as well. I've been spinning for about 2.5, 3 years. One of my friends got me my first spindle for the holidays. It was a Secret Santa exchange or something. I'm not quite sure what it was. But I have 6 spindles. I want more. I also use it, surprisingly, as another form of I use it as physiotherapy because I am the graphic designer who, when she was in her last semester of college, her last year of college, for her thesis semester, broke both of her hands. Yeah, that happened. One of the most important semesters of my collegiate career, and I broke both of my hands. I was in casts. And, but yeah, the spinning helps. It's really good. The different weights and the different lengths, it just, the motions, everything, it helps strengthen and make the muscles all good again. And if you hear random cracking with that, I apologize. That's a side effect of what happened. It sucks! Because, like, going like this in the middle of the night and hearing it crack and it just makes you wake up. That being said, I think you can kind of get it. That being said, sorry, I was speaking too fast. I think you guys can kind of figure out what my career is. I am a junior graphic designer. Yay! I work for a company called YM Inc., which is Young Manufacturers Incorporated. We own the clothing stores Stitches, Siblings, Sirens, Urban Planet, Amnesia, West 49, Blue Note, Susie, Sheer, Thrifties, and other things that I can't remember. And for some reason, everybody in the office thinks our boss is going to maybe buy Danier Leather, because they declare bankruptcy. Also, technically, YM actually started out as a leather and fur company many, many years ago, so it wouldn't be that surprising if our boss got it. But don't tell anybody. So that's just my personal opinion. Yes. Hi, sorry about that. I don't know if you know this. I got a phone call from my brother. Anyways, so we own a lot of clothing stores. So what I do, I work for one of the many banners. I'm not going to say which. But I'm on their graphics team, which means, like, I do things like we make the graphic t-shirts. We didn't make this one. We don't have the copyright for that. I do put in the color for the clothes. I do a lot of the CADs, packaging, labels, sizing, so much numbers, and plaids. I now have a love-hate relationship with plaids, pineapples, watermelons, and mice. And stripes. Sorry. Lions! Not mice, lions. Heraldic lions. You don't know torture until you've sat there for 3 days working on crests for the Olympics and rampant lion erection penises. Sorry. Not swearing, but sorry. Anyways, yeah, so I do tend to have some slightly odd vendettas and dislikes because of work. At the same time, I also used to be a chef, so again, certain things come from that job. And you'll notice I mentioned that wasn't a swear, it was just talking about body part and saying a word. Because I used to be a chef, and because I am a junior graphic designer, my position's just junior, my vocabulary is interesting. So, I actually do sometimes have to make a concerted effort not to fall into my normal vocabulary that I like to do sometimes, I guess. But it's not that bad. And I actually have notes that say, don't swear, use your words, it's all fine, it's all grand. And it's fine, and I just laugh it off. But no swearing yet, so yay, I don't have to put the not safe for work sign up anymore like I used to. I actually used to have a podcast a while back, like a year and a half ago, when I was working in the kitchen. And it was really hard for me to slip out of the vocabulary usage that we had and just that sort of mentality. So I did have to put up a not safe for work sign. But for as much as, like, I'm a I'm a graphic designer now, and I work with other graphic designers, and we do have slightly like that personality. We work in the clothing the clothing company, and there's our little circle that can kind of get rowdy at times, and then there's the general decorum for the office, so it's easier not to now. What else can I say? What else can I say? I'm a huge nerd. Doctor Who, Magic the Gathering, Marvel, Marvel, Steve Rogers, Marvel, and a little bit of DC. And that's what I do. So yeah, I'm interested in those things. So hey, if you want to, just talk nerdy with me. nerdiness will come up eventually, and all that fun stuff. I just had a brain fart. I'm sorry. And so, other than nerdy things, like, there's not much you can say when you say you're a nerd. That just kind of covers it. It's going to show up. I think most knitters are nerds, in some degree. I'm also a nerd about books and notebooks and inks and brush pens, and I just looked at my drafting table when I said that, so I apologize. But yeah, it happens. I mean, I think knitters are nerds just for being knitters. Like, it's a passion. You want to do that. At least we're not geeks. Sorry. Back to the Heraldic Lion thing. Yeah. There's things. I know random information thanks to my brother, and just the fact that I like random information and have a problem with reading lots of Wikipedia articles in slow moments at work. Because I can get on Wikipedia. Can't get on Facebook, but I can get on Wikipedia. I'm actually like one of 12 people who can also get on Pinterest. And we can go on Ravelry at work too. But I don't know why. Anyways. Inspiration or something, I think they said it was. That aside, on a rambling note, why don't we get into the works in progress? Now, I actually have my works in progress written down in a list, and we're just throwing that list to the wind. We're gonna just do whatever it is, whatever I grab. I had a bunch of yarn fall over. I'm not happy about that. Because it's now on the floor, but I will pick that up later. You can't see it. So, the first work in progress I grabbed is actually the same one that I grabbed in a previous take. Letting you guys know this is actually try 4 for this podcast. Anyways, so in my Splody TARDIS Van Gogh bag by Yarntasia, I call it the Splody TARDIS Van Gogh bag because, well, yeah, that. Also, very nice yellow on the inside that you can't see because of light. So in this bag is R is R grammar. I need you. Where are you? R, well, is one of, I was right the first time, one of my socks. I'm calling these my Captain America stripy socks. They are made of biscuit and chi yarn in the Habs colorway. And I did have to do that face. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a Leafs girl. I am also not a huge hockey fan by Canadian standards, but I still kick the bum of a lot of fans in the States, surprisingly. Hockey is part of our heritage here. We learn about it in school, not just gym class. Like, we actually, surprisingly, have a section on hockey in our history class, so yeah, you know about it. Anyways, so this is the Habs colorway, but when I bought it, I actually got it because I thought it looked like Captain America's stealth suit. Nerdisms. We loves them. But yeah, so it's a biscuit and chi yarn. It's very nice and soft and fluffy. And I lost the ball band, so I cannot tell you what the content is. But this is what it looks like. The ball band's not even in here. I wish it was. It was in here. I think I took it with me somewhere, and it fell out. But yes. The pattern for this sock is actually my basic vanilla... Ow, I bit my tongue. My basic vanilla sock recipe. So it's 64 stitch cast on, top cuff down, 2x2 ribbing, and about 3 inches from the ribbing to the heel, which is a fish lips kiss heel, which this one is followed to the T for the pattern. I have changed it up since with mine, and then however long to this. This was made before I actually, this sock was made before I got somebody to measure the actual inches of my foot, which sounds weird, but at work, all of my stuff, like all of my measurements are in inches, millimeters, and centimeters is how we design the clothes. So it's, in my head, it's how I know how to do it. And yeah, so my feet are actually 9 inches long. So this is probably about 9 inches. It's also soft and fluffy and awesome. And I still have to make the second sock. Now this is not second sock syndrome. This is not, oh my god, I never want to do the second sock. I want to. I really want to do the second sock of this. It was more, I finished this sock. Sorry, I'm looking at the bag. I'm trying to look at the screen. I apologize. So this was more, I finished this sock. I started the Voodoo Knit Along by Boo Knits. And that's a different story all on its own, which we'll get to soon. And I finished off another thing, which again is in the whips. We'll get to soon. And then it came time for holiday knitting, and I started knitting for the holidays. So I want to do this, but I've had many other items to do. So I wanted to actually get this done this weekend. The amount of time that this actually took me, at most, is maybe 5 hours. I have a problem with self-striping yarn. Even if I can see the repeats, right? Like, even once I go through one repeat, I keep wanting to see what the next stripe is. I think a lot of people have that problem. So I can get very, very, very into self-striping yarns. So that was my first project. My Captain America socks. America. The next project that I'm picking up, surprisingly, is the same one again from an original take that I tried. It is in a bag that I actually, one of my first handmade bags. Sorry, it's in my face, but yes. I fell in love with this fabric. It is a whole bunch of different cooking phrases in vintage typography and a vintage color palette. Vintage inspired, I would say, because it is not from that time and it is not that actual palette. I'm sorry, I don't know where that British type accent came from. So, what I am showing you now, I call my Mardi Gras fingerless gloves. Aren't these gorgeous? I love the pooling on the palm of the hands. So this is the ball band. Let me grab the ball band because it's in here. Sorry, that was weird. So these are Premier Yarns, Deborah Norville collection, Serenity sock weight, in the sapphire color. I know, I call these sapphire. They're the sapphire colorway, but I call them my Mardi Gras gloves. Nerdy fact for you: sapphires come in colors that are more than just blue. Actually, rubies. The stone rubies are actually a type of sapphire, but the chemical compound for rubies is slightly different. It's what makes them red, so that's why they're different and actually more expensive than sapphires. But sapphires can come in blue, green, yellow, purple, pink, orange, white, brown, and hold on, I lost my screen. What? No. Okay, here it is. So, all the colors in this glove actually are sapphire colorways, but I call them my Mardi Gras gloves because it's an emerald green, a golden yellow, a nice royal purple, and yes, it's got that like robin's egg blue in there, and I just love it. It just reminds me of Mardi Gras, and you know, my stepbrother lives in New Orleans, so I just think it's fitting. Also, I have a very, very big love affair with fingerless gloves. So I just, ooh, and they're very springy. Like, I want to get through the second one so I can wear these now, because it's very spring weather. Since I have the ball band, I can tell you what the fiber content of this yarn is. This is 50% superwash merino wool, 25% bamboo, and 25% nylon. And I actually got to hang out with Eric from the Sticks and Twine podcast today, and he got to squish my yarn. He can tell you how soft and squishy this is. Also, I am knitting these on my 2.75 Chiaogu needles. I love wooden needles. I do. I love wooden needles, despite what the next thing I grab might contradict that. They give a certain glide to the yarn. They don't choke the yarn, but there's enough sort of tooth to the needle themselves that you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about dropping the yarn as much as with metal needles or hurting your hands. Sorry, I was just grabbing my next project. Yeah, metal needles, choking the yarn. Don't like that. Anyways, so my next whip can be found in my left field knitter bag with the vintage bicycle print on it, and oh my god, so squishy and awesome. And she has her buttons on these. Oh, I got this when I got this bag, and I got another bag with it, and it was paisley blue, and I gave it to one of my friends for the holidays. And I want to go back and get more because they are the perfect size for socks. You need these bags for your socks. And one of the things I really love about her bags are this. I am a drawstring person. I love drawstrings. If I had a choice, always drawstrings over zippers, but sometimes zippers are just awesome as well. So, these are, that I just pulled out a whip. These, I'm doing... I should explain. I'm sort of doing the Brown Bag Sock Club for 2016. I have 12 yarns set aside to do, and I'm not pushing myself or rushing myself to do them within a month. I just want to get 12 pairs of socks done this year. I definitely want to do 12 pairs of socks, so I've set aside the yarn. The first pair were in Felici and Time Traveler that I made for my brother, because he is, as I said, we both love Doctor Who. He's an even bigger Doctor Who fan than I am, and his favorite Doctor is the Fourth Doctor. So when I saw those socks, that yarn, I begged, borrowed, and steal. I had to get that yarn for him. Luckily, one of my friends, the awesome Mari from Martini, from Sinister Yarns, used to be Martini Knits, she had some of the yarn. She had 2 balls of it, and then she wound up buying 2 more balls. So I was able to purchase 2 of the balls from her. But yeah, so I did that. So, that was my January socks. I actually got them done in January. My February socks, however, in honor of, you know, the Suburban Stitches Rainbow Along, it didn't quite happen, were these. And I'm not kidding, they actually stand up on their own. These are another non-pattern, these are a non-patterned sock. I call them the Rainbow Socks of Doom. Because, whereas I told you I could do my, like, Captain America socks in maybe half a day, sitting down just doing that, these took me 5 weeks. And they are a 3x1 rib. They can stand up on their own. They are ankle socks. And because of the rib, and the fact that the rib goes all the way from the top of the cuff down to right here at the toe, where the toe starts, it just is shorter. It lands maybe just underneath my ankle. And I will show you something. I'm sorry about all the ums and ahs. But, I mean, look, it stands up on its own. I'm not joking. It's kind of amusing in a horrible way. I'm serious. I can't stop laughing at this. It makes my day whenever I see it. But they're Doom! Doom! Doomy doomy doom! Yes, I quoted Grr from Invader Zim. That is how they are. I think my goal is to try and finish these socks, or get as close as I can gets done for this weekend. But they got put in timeout after knitting on them for an hour today. That's why it took 5 weeks. They're just there's something about a 3x1 rib that drives me mad. But yeah, so here's the second sock. So I've done the cuff. I've done the fish lips kiss heel. I've started the body. I started the arch of the foot. The bridge. So, this part. Sometimes called the arch, sometimes called the bridge in structure. In fashion, at least where we are from, it's also the part where if you go and buy like cool printed socks in a store where all of the sublimated print would be. It's... Sorry. Sublimation prints are interesting. But yeah, so there's that. And I am knitting these on my US 1.5, my US 1.5s, which is a 2.5 millimeter, on my Knit Picks, my Knitter's Pride carbons. So I love these. I got these for my birthday. My grandmother gave me $50. Part of it went to a bag, a project bag I've been eyeing forever. And part of it went to these. And for as much as I complain about these socks, these are really good needles. Still not giving up on my Chow Goose because I love wooden. But one of the things I really like about these carbons is while you have a metal tip, the carbon body actually is very similar to that of wood. I find this very similar to my wood. So, you know, warms up in my hand, has that nice grip without being too crazy. So it's like the best of both worlds. Anyways, aside from waxing poetic and doing something very weird to my needles, I will admit I noticed that. I guess I should show you the yarn I'm using, which is this beautiful baby. This is Knit Picks Chroma. See, there's a reason I said Knit Picks other than Felici. This is Knit Picks Chroma, where fingering. So it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It is in the groovy colorway, which is very, very, very rainbowy. And somebody asked why I was making socks out of these. I like it. I'm gonna wear these around the house as slippers, to be completely honest. I don't know. They just kind of scream slipper socks to me, because I really don't have anything that goes with this, and I work in a fashion company, and, well, sometimes I don't care, sometimes I do. Also, I like wearing my handmade socks around the house, and not so much out at work. But that's just me. Sorry, I need to check something off. So yeah, 3x1 Rainbow Socks of Doom checked off, and hopefully we'll be done in faster than 5 weeks. The next thing I'm grabbing is in this. Okay, this bag, right here, this beautiful blue chevron bag, with the nicest zipper I've ever seen. Like, the yarn has never gotten caught in this zipper. This was made by Helga on Wheels. Oh, at least her Instagram is Helga on Wheels. And she gave it to me for the Get Your Yarny Wish Granted in the holiday season. And I thank her so much for it. I love it. It's squishy. It is awesome. It is mine. I have a problem. I love bags. Anyways. So, the only thing that upsets me about this bag is you can't go onto her Etsy store and buy it if you live in Canada. So, I fell in love with it and I can't purchase anymore. Ah well, I guess I'll just have to go on and purchase and send it all to my uncle's house in New York. I have a lot of family in America, so there's that. Anyways, what was in this bag is the Josephine shawl. I am making this beauty for my office mate. We have an overflow of graphic designers, so me and another junior designer named Jasmine, we actually have our own office, and anytime anyone says that they were looking for us in our office, we tend to smile and giggle, because everybody else pretty much works in a cubicle. Though the third junior designer has his own cubicle to himself. But yeah, so isn't this gorgeous, this yarn? It is a slow gradient. And this is the yarn itself. Oh, wait, you don't see all the purples. There's all the purples. It is the Louisa... sorry, it's... I'm so sorry, that was weird. So this is Louisa Harding's Amatola, and it's in the berries colorway. It's beautiful and gorgeous. And as I said, this is the Josephine shawl. And I will put here who makes it. This is the first thing I've done where it's actually a different person who made the pattern. So whenever I'm doing something else where it's somebody else who's made the pattern, I'll put it below here. And it is 80% wool and 20% silk. It's very nice and tough. It's a 50-gram ball, but it'll make a nice shawlette. Shawlette? Sorry if that was bothering you. But yeah, this is actually maybe my 3rd or 4th time doing this particular pattern, but I really like it. It's so soft and squishy and amazing and gorgeous, and oh, the yarn itself is soft and squishy and awesomeness. And I just love it. And I know my office partner, my office mate, will love this as well. She's also so sweet and tiny and Oh, you just want to squish her face! That was weird, but that's kind of, she's amazing, and kind of how a lot of people feel about her. I'm not kidding. A lot of people have said, you're cute and tiny, and we want to squish your face. Go over there. Okay. So, the next thing I grabbed, in another bag that I've done, this is another bag that I did, and you can definitely tell it was one of my first bags. Not even one of my first bags. I don't know what was happening with this bag. So this is in my boo bag, my Halloween boo bag, if you can't tell what I'm doing, or pulling out. I am actually pulling out, oh, good, here. This is that everything? Oh, yes, it is. This is my voodoo shawl. And why is it so tiny? It got ripped out twice and tinked back 3 times, and then ripped out a 3rd time, and I was almost going to just put it in a corner for timeout before I went back to it, and then I realized I had been reading the pattern wrong the entire time. So that was on me. So it's actually, I really do enjoy doing this, knitting this now, and I'm loving this color. So, I don't know where one of my tags went to, but I have the second one here, and I might have to reskein my yarn. So this is the Riverside Studio Superwash Lace. So this is the Riverside Studio Superwash Merino Singles Lace. It's 412 yards per ball. It's called Spring Day, and I loves it, and I have to reskein my second ball because it is collapsing in on itself, and it is squishy, squishy. And I like that it's a singles. I like that it's merino. So there's a little bit of a tough, it doesn't feel as dainty as other lace, so I feel very comfortable using it. I actually also got, I got some more on my birthday to make something for my mom, because her birthday's a week after mine. We are February babies. I was her birthday present 29 years ago. But yes. I'm also, for some of my previous knitting, you didn't see it because they were 2-piece things, a sock and a glove. I tend to knit from the inside of the balls and knit out. I'm not doing it with the chroma because it's a single, and I didn't want to get any pilling for when I was knitting my yarn. I'm not doing it for this because, not just because it's a single, because I feel like this single wouldn't have the problem that the chroma has, because it doesn't split. It doesn't split as bad as the chroma does, because even though the chroma's fingering, it's very loosely spun. I find it's not a roving, but it's not a tight spin. This is a very tightly spun single. And the chroma for the Rainbow Socks of Doom has this, you can have like thicker pieces and thinner pieces. It's almost, I'm finding, almost very similar to hand spun. Whereas this one is consistent the entire way, and it's beautiful, and I love it. But it's also a very thin lace. So I feel that if I'm grabbing it from the center of the ball, 1, the ball will collapse in on itself at a certain point, and 2, it would just knot up, and yarn barf would ensue. So this is my voodoo shawl. I do not have my pattern on hand. I do not know where my pattern went to on hand at the moment. I will find it. I think I know where it is. I know where it is. I'll find it later. But also, as I don't, at this point I'm pretty sure everybody's done the voodoo shawl who is with the knit-along, so it's not a spoiler. But as everybody knows, it needs, you have to bead things into it. So, with my spring color, I'm going to pull out a ball again. And it will probably be the ball that has something attached to it, which it is. Oof. I am using these smoky gray beauties, and it works so well. They are Miyuki 5/0 triangles, and they are in the color 1157 smoky gray. and they have this beautiful kind of oil slick to them. So I am very interested in working with that. And these are being knit on my Knitter's Pride bamboos in US 5s with Knit Picks cord. And something I've noticed with a lot of my Knitter's Pride is that the writing of the size actually rubs off of the needle, which really sucks, man. But what can you do? What can you do? I'm actually asking, what can you do with that? Except memorize and have a gauge checker and all that. So I have, so after that point, I have 2 more whips that I'm working on, and they're both blankets, and they're both very long-term projects, even though I want to get one done sooner than the other. And they're both very emotionally important to me, like they mean a lot, and there's nothing I can say. Like, they do mean a lot to me, and I'm just gonna grab one of them right now. If I start to cry, I warn you, I may start to cry with talking about some of these. So, this, right now, my nose is running and I'm starting to tear up a little bit. This right now is my only crochet work in progress that I'm actually actively working on. The other one is kind of, I'm not working on it because it's for somebody I don't talk to anymore. This was the very first crochet thing I ever learned, actually. I call this the banana blanket because this yarn was picked out. The color itself was chosen by one of my best friends. The best friend I talked about earlier in the show, her name was Bianna, and she just loved this thread, and she was trying to get me to learn how to crochet, and I was, no, it's not me, I can't. And then I was in a Mary Maxim's when it still existed, and I showed her this yarn. She fell in love with it. It was in the clearance section, so I bought all of it, and I'm like, I'm gonna make you a blanket. I'm gonna knit you a blanket out of this lovely fingering weight acrylic that you like so much. She had a small dog who liked to sleep with her, so the acrylic was so she could easily wash the blanket whenever her dog Harley, who also died in that accident, so whenever they wanted to snuggle in, she could wash her blanket. And it's what I learned to crochet on, and you can see I was very loose in the beginning and I kind of got tight. I've actually had a few people ask me if I'm ever going to tink this back and just start from scratch, and I won't. It's a red acrylic. I can't tell you, I don't have any of my still uncaked yarns of it. I have problems working on it for long periods of time. I tend to get very emotional, and I start to cry when I work on it because it always reminds me of her, because it was supposed to be for her, and she was one of my best friends, and I still cry when I think about it. And I still get angry when I think about it. She was a great person. We met in college. She was going to school for animation. I was going to school for graphic design. She wound up opening up a driving school with her parents, because her parents had owned Sprint Driving in Toronto before they sold it, and and it sucks because when she was walking her dog a few summers ago on, it was a rainy night, she just went out to take Harley for a walk so we could go to the bathroom, and she was in an accident. There was an elderly woman driving her car. She shouldn't have been driving at night, let alone a night like that, let alone it turned out she was speeding. And she jumped the curb with her car, and the car rolled. The elderly woman and her friend who was in the car with her were fine. She rolled over my friend and her dog, and neither of them made it. And yeah, so the day before that happened was her cousin's wedding. She was maid of honor. And everybody, I think, her cousin put off going on her honeymoon to go to my friend's funeral. And we're Jewish, so everybody was sitting Shiva. I was at the Shiva house every day. And that Wednesday we were supposed to meet for coffee, and I just couldn't stop crying because instead of having coffee with my best friend at our local coffee shop that we love to go to, I was sitting there bawling my eyes out uncontrollably, and I didn't step foot back into that coffee shop, any of their locations, for a good year and a half. And she convinced me to pick up crochet, so I did. And this blanket was going to be for her, and I'll still work on it. I just don't know what I'm going to do when I'm done it. If I can work on it for more than 5 minutes at a time without crying. But yeah, it's just normal single and double crochet on a D hook. And it's held in a toiletry bag that I got from Target when I was in Canada, and I apologize for that. The other slightly emotional thing is not a bad emotion. It's, so this is my Cozy Memories blanket, and, just gonna put the title down there. Everybody has a recipe for the Cozy Memories blanket. This is what I have so far. So, the reason why I love this blanket, and it means a lot to me, so this is it. I am making this Cozy Memories blanket for my grandfather. This is for my Jaci. I started it last year before he went to Florida. I started in 2014. Wow, that yellow's getting blown out for him. And the winter of 2014 and 2015, he wound up getting pneumonia, and while he was in Florida, and I got really scared. So, yeah, I had been thinking about doing the barn raising square blanket for myself, and found out that he had gotten the pneumonia, and I know he saw a picture of this pattern and he loved it. So I decided, instead of making a blanket for myself, I'm going to make a blanket for my grandfather. So here it is. And I love it. And it is for him. And I'm just using... I actually have it. So I am using the free pattern of... Sorry. Here it is. So it's the sock yarn blanket. I'm using Zoe Knit Girls version. It's a free pattern. And I am using my... Hold on. I actually have some acquisitions in this bag from when I was out earlier this morning. I am knitting these on my US 1s, I believe. My 1.5s. So I'm knitting these on my US 1.5s, my Chiagu. And apparently I found lip balm. So yeah, I have minis for this blanket. This blanket is supposed to be 20 long by 25 across. That's 500 squares. I don't know if I have enough yarn for 500 squares, but I am going to work there and when this is done, it's going to my grandfather's. Also, when I'm done putting all the squares on, I'm going to get some black and I'm going to border it. I'm going to give it to my Zadie, and it will be loved and squished and become a family heirloom blanket. I can talk today, but yeah. My parents got divorced when I was 4. My grandfather was my predominant father figure forever. If there is a single person in this world that is knit-worthy for this blanket, in my opinion, it is my Zadie, my grandpa. I love him so much, and I know he will love this blanket, and I know it will be so well cared for, and I know that it'll be in a good home. So this is my Zadie's blanket. Also, I made this bag myself. Just in case you all were wondering. And that is all my current whips. I need to sit down and just finish a whole bunch of them. So, the next thing I have on here are faux. This is my only faux that I found. Yeah. So, I think this is the On the Road shawl. I'll just figure out what the thing is and put the correct thing underneath here. My math screwed up. It is not supposed to be this size or this shape. And I don't know where I went wrong because I kept adding stitches to it. Which sucks because it's a really good shawl. The blue in this is Indigo Dragonflies TARDIS yarn, which is very squishy, and am sad that this happened. And the purple is Louisa Harding. I can't remember what sub-brand it is, but it's kind of awesome. And it's about toddler size, so I'm actually going to wind up giving this to my baby cousins. One of my baby cousins. So my cousin, she loves purple, and she likes blue, so I think she'll enjoy this. And the Sparkity's help. And I can always redo this shawl and pay better attention with other yarn. Then I won't be so sad if I mess up the math in it. But yeah, it's like, hark, I have a Shakespearean collar. I do not have the pattern with me, and I do not know when I will do this again. It's just very disheartening when you math wrong and this happens. But I do have somebody to give this to that will enjoy it. So I call this my toddler shawl. Don't get toddler shawls. But yeah. One last time for the giggles. Math is important. But it's a nice shawl. I mean, like, prospectively, I would definitely wear this shawl if it were the right size. But warning though, you do start off with 400 and something odd stitches. You start, I think I know what some of the problem was. This pattern is a free pattern as well. And you start from the roughly big floofy ruffle side, and then you go in. So yeah, that happened. Honestly, there is not much that I could say about that. Next up. So next up, I actually have my spinning. So this is my moustache bag. I keep fiber in here. And as I said, I actually went and got to hang out with Eric today from the Sticks and Twine podcast. When we hang out, I brought my spinning fiber. The spindle that I need to spin my fiber with has been at home all day. So I brought my fiber, but I forgot my spindle. So I'm actually working on the second half of the braid right now. So this is the first half of the braid. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's just, it is very dense, and I can't wait to apply it. So this is, do I have, here it is. So this is 100% merino top, hand-dyed wool. It's 60 grams, and it's from West Ridge Wool and Fiber. No colorway with this, no colorway with this fiber. And unfortunately, they were not at Creative Festival again this year. And it was my 3rd time going, so. But this is what the fiber looks like. With that whole purple chunk missing. So this is the colors of the fiber. This is just half of the 2nd braid. The other half is in a bump like this. And I thought the colors remind me of cotton candy. It's quite funny. I've pulled this out and go, what does this remind you of to people? Go, cotton candy. Go, yes, yes it is. So I call this my cotton candy yarn. Not as bright and vibrant after you spin it. But I just think that's because the first half of the braid wasn't as vibrantly oomph in the pink as this one is. But also there's a lot of barber pulling in the pink and purple and pink and green, and so it just kind of subdues the color a little bit. Sorry. So yeah, I'm working on the 2nd braid, and then I will be 2/3 done. The 2nd half of the braid, I will be 2/3 done of the yarn I want to spin, because I am also spinning up some plain white viscose fibers. So I have to go like this. I forget. Hold on. I'm just going on Etsy right now because I'm filming this on my iMac. Yay, iMac. Boo! Internet unlogging me from everything. Load. Load. I apologize. I'm trying to get onto my Etsy so I can figure out where I bought this. So, this I got from... So this is a handmade oak drop spindle with a pecan finish from On the Dock Knits. It is beautiful. It is lovely. On the Dock Knits is actually from Luc de Bon. Sorry. On the Dock Knits is from Luc de Bonnet in Manitoba. And they just have... I'm looking at them right now. I'm looking at them right now. They have beautiful bags and spindles, and I have to buy some more things from them. But that's worth it. Oh my god. Their stuff is amazing. Oh, they have a beer label knitting thing that I want. I got that because I wanted it, and one of my other spindles kind of broke, which you can see here. I have a Lewitt student learning spindle, and on it is just unknown plain white viscose fibers. It still spins beautifully. I doctored it. It survived. I can be spindle doctor. Not really. I wouldn't trust me with any spindle. I'm kidding. I didn't just throw it away because I do, like I said, I use the spindles for physio, and I love them. And the 3rd spinning fiber in here, not my final spinning, but the 3rd one in here, is this mystery crazy bat that I got last year at the Knitter's Frolic, or rather that my mom bought me last year at the Knitter's Frolic. Most of it very nice and beautiful, feels like merino. There is sewing thread in here. I don't know why, but there's sewing thread in this one, and it drives me mad. And this spindle is, I don't know what to call it, but the gentleman who restores spinning wheels up north in Ontario, who gave me that one-on-one sort of spinning lesson for a little bit that I was talking about at the Creative Festival, he made this, and I got to purchase it from him. It is so beautiful, and it produces some of the nicest, thinnest yarns I've ever seen. I love it. I also love mustaches on stuffs, apparently. Okay, the next thing I want to show before we go into fun things is my brain shuts off, is the timeout corner. Everybody has one. But these two things are just so special in the timeout corner. So I'm going to pull this one up first. This lovely bag from Nekozuki Knits, or Nekozuki Yarns. I can never remember what she's calling herself right now. I think it's Nekozuki Knits. She did this. It is a custom Avengers bag. I loves it, and I do say Avengers even though, as you can see, clearly the best Canadian comic character, what? Wolverine is on here, and only one full Captain America. I have like a half cut of Captain America on this side, but I loves it. He was an Avenger. He is an Avenger. He's part of the Avengers, X-Men, Alpha Flight, Great Lakes Avenger. Wolverine is part of everything. Just leave it at that. He's part of everything. Anyways, so I love this. I bought this for myself last year, or 2 years ago, for present for my birthday present for myself. And in this bag is the One Ball Gradient Shawl. Voila, et voila. I started making this for my office partner. It's soft, it's squishy. This happened. But it's a 2-ply worsted weight that is constantly, if I can show you, I know I'm purposely doing it this time, coming apart whenever I knit it. It's also 100% acrylic. It is in the Lions brand tweed stripe, 100% acrylic in seashells, and it's just driving me mad. I also paid like 99 cents for it on sale at Michael's, so I don't care about it all that much. So I'm a frog it. Give her the Josephine shawl, which is a much... I love it. I love both patterns, but I'm going to give her that shawl in the better yarn, in my opinion. And have my US size 8s for another shawl. But I'm going to try this one later. First things first. This is a really good yarn, even though it's acrylic. It is a really good yarn. It's just, I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I might recake this and give it to somebody else who would better appreciate it than I would. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Though it is acrylic. That's the one thing. And, I do love the One Ball Gradient Shawl, but I seem to have this problem whenever I knit it. I just get so frustrated with the yarns that I'm choosing for it that it drives me mad. The last time I knit this shawl, I was using a sequined yarn that was also acrylic and kind of roving spun, and it was driving me mad. And I was making it for somebody who lived in California, and I don't know why I was doing that. But she had it, and she wore it, and she loves it, so yeah. So that's in timeout corner number 1. Apparently I have more than one corner. Well, no. Timeout corner number 2. These guys. Again, another acrylic from Michael's. But heavy fingering weight, light sport weight. Very comfortable, very nice. It's in timeout just because it kind of yarn barfed. That being said, it yarn barfed because they were in hanks. Huge hanks. I don't know why they did that. Because the hanks were twisted in on themselves. You couldn't put it on a Swift and what's the word? What's the word? Tell me what's the word. You are yarn. You know I did. Ball, cake it up. Cake it up. So it's impossible. So I have to ball it. That's what happened. We found that out with this one. And this is going to be a Age of Brass and Steam. I'm doing it with another knitter friend. We bought 2 packs of yarns. We split the colors, and we're going to do these together. But mine is in timeout. I don't even think she started balling up her yarn. So for the time being, I'm not doing anything with that yarn until she does. So those were quick. Those were quick-ish. I don't really like to dwell on my timeouts. Like, well, the bad timeouts. And my pen has died. My pen has been reborn. So, sorry, I'm looking down at my notes is where I'm looking. And at other yarn I have. So the next thing I want to talk about are naps. Sorry about the crinkling. Naps are great. You should try them. They're very refreshing. A nice siesta in the afternoon, always good. naps. Yes, definitely. 10 out of 10 would do constantly. I fall asleep on buses and on subway trains. The rocking puts me asleep. Our roads are not very good here sometimes. Up north more where I live. But that's not the type of nap I'm talking about. I just want to say that. When I'm talking about naps right now, I'm talking about Neil adjacent projects. And my brain decided to go on a siesta because it thought I was talking about actual naps. Sorry, I just have to fix my seat. So Neil adjacent projects. I showed you the 3x1 Rainbow Socks of Doom. And here's the reason why I've kind of been monogamously only knitting on those for a while. Aside from the fact that it took 5 weeks to knit. And they're kind of also in the timeout corner right now after this morning. But they were the February socks. They were the yarn I pulled in February from the brown bag. Sorry, my nose was itchy. This is the yarn that I pulled from my March brown bag. I also have a really nice tape that says Open Me, so all my bags are done with that. And this is Diamond Select Footsie. It's a Canadian brand. It is super soft and squishy. I loves it. And it is 100 grams, which is 420 meters, in the amazing color 402. Lot 1451. 402 and 1451 are both really good, beautiful shades of red and blue. Actually, blue and purple in the Pantone color books. It sounds weird, but I just kind of laugh. 533 is like the most amazing shade of navy ever! Ever! And 116 is a very bright yellow. Yeah. Work. Nerdiness! I love Pantone. I actually do love Pantone. Anyways, so I pulled these, and I was talking with Eric today when I saw him. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I do want to try another pattern sock. I want to try a nice pattern sock. Something that's not 3x1 ribbing of doom. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do a vanilla latte sock, or if I want to do a Hermione's everyday sock. And I think we agreed on Hermione's everyday socks. And I kind of like that idea. And this is going to be so awesome. This yarn is beautiful amethyst purples, kind of like a tealy robin's egg blue. I apparently have a thing for robin's egg blue, I'm seeing. And this nice, bright, vibrant lime green. Or I could be really annoying and go look up the Pantones for it, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna come in one day and just like Pantone everything, just put like the little corner. Maybe I might do that. Not today, but I might do eventually, like in the corners. Pantones, you can look it up. But yeah, no, I love it, and it's so soft and squishy with just a little bit of oomph. I don't know what you would call it. I mean, it's 75% superwash wool and 25% polyamide, and it is machine washable, lay flat to dry with the squishiness. So yeah, I'm gonna do the Hermione everyday socks. I just hope they're top down. I hate toe up, and I can't wait to get them done. So that is my naps. Sorry, I'm just pulling everything there. Yes, I use my face to open pens and check things off. So, now that naps are done, it is the part of the podcast that I think everybody just loves in any podcast. I mean, you watch for the people who talk, you watch for to see what they're working on, to get ideas. Sorry, just want to get that away from the edge. But what everybody loves, what I love. I mean, I got podcasts going on in the background I don't really look up until the new squishies come on, the new yarn, the new squishies. So, kind of interestingly enough, as I said, I was out today with Eric, which I will talk about soon. I'm sorry about the finger I was pointing with. But I was a good girl. We went to Purple Pearl, and I only spent $19. And some of that was on a trick. So I'll start with that. So at the Purple Pearl today, I got, because I like making socks, I like making things with sock needles and stuff, so I got myself another sort of back uppy 24-inch US 1.5s, Canadian 2.5 millimeters. I don't know why I said Canadian 2 point. So for those of us who live in, like, you know, the colonies and use metric. Do we use imperial or do we use metric? I don't know, but we use millimeters. So it's 2.5 millimeters. And this is actually a very common stripe size at my work. So, yeah, 24 inches. I love these for socks. I love these for fingerless gloves. I cannot have enough of these. I go nuts. The other things that I got, actually, it's not, there's no actual price on this either. So, I know it was the most expensive thing, but I think it was like 11 bucks. The next two items I got were Richard Dravis minis for my grandfather's blanket, because I love him. I love the blanket. I love sharing minis with friends, and I love getting minis to put in the blanket, because it's just, there's something about being able to put in minis to show. It's like, hey, look, people care about you other than just me. I love it. So I got these to add for my blanket, because I haven't gotten any new yarns in a long time for the blanket, and I've got to work through that stuff to put the blanket in. So that's everything I got at the Purple Pearl. Actually, so this is, again, Robin's Blue egg. Robin's Egg Blue. Special. And this one's kind of like a really subdued, kind of like Captain America-y-ish thing, I guess. It's got like corally oranges, blues, and whites in it. I love it. So, the next thing, it comes in this purple bag. It comes from the Penguin Soup. So, the next yarn I'm showing you guys, my friend and I placed an order with Penguin Soup yarns, and she got the Bulbasaur colorway and the Peeps colorway, and she was dancing when she opened the bag. We actually just opened the bag today, because the only time, it was the first time in like a week and a bit that we've seen each other. Her boyfriend owns a card shop. She basically is, like, guess the best way to call her is the general manager there. And as I say, I play Magic, so we met that way. I was getting back into Magic, and somehow we started talking about yarn. And she is now one of my best friends. I see her at least 3 times a week, but she hasn't been feeling well this week. So we haven't had a chance to see each other. So this is the first time we've seen each other since the package arrived at her house. Condo, whatever it is. But yeah, we were so very excited. So, she got Bulbasaur, she got Peeps, she got some extras, because it took a little while, so they threw in some extras. And I got R2-D2 Oops. I love my Penguin Soup. I have quite a few of her yarns, and some of her fiber. And I love R2-D2. R2-D2 is a droid of choice. Ooh. Yeah, to quote my friend. So here it is. Oh, here's the beautifuls. So this is from Penguin Soup. It's her R2-D2 Oops. R2-D2 Oops. That's how I'm pronouncing it, because the oops is right by the tube. And it is a self-striping sock. It's her tuxedo sock base. So this is Janice's tuxedo sock base. It is 215 yards, 50 grams. I think that might be wrong. I think it's supposed to be 100 grams. I'm not sure. But it is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. That is beautiful and awesome. And she also gave us, as the extras that she popped in for us, were some minis. And this is super squishy and pretty, and I can't wait to add it to my blanket. She gave us cookie cutters from her most recent yarn club, which this buddy came from. And it is a Stormtrooper cookie cutter. So, nerdy friends beware, I might be Stormtroopering it up. Boom, 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 boom. And then she just threw in 2 little, like for the extra she gave two of each. She threw in penguin stitch markers and her card. And one of the penguin stitch marker bags had two, one had one. I took the one that had one because I have stitch markers at my wazoo and my friend does not. She may have asked for some stitch markers. But yeah, so I'm just stuffing all this stuff in here. Because so that's the stuff that I bought today and managed to pick up today. So this is the most current up-to-date squishies. The other items I have are some items that I got as presents and one that I got 2 weeks ago. So this was actually the other half of the $50 I got. I spent on this bag. The first half went to my my carbons. I love the bag. I love the fabric, and it is drawstring. Yes. Yes. And I've sadly been eyeing this bag for 2 years. I got it at Unit. It's perfect. It is shiny. If you can ever go to Unit or go to the nearest Frolic and see them there, definitely go. They are the bests. And Claudia is amazing. But yeah. I love this one so much. And it was quick, and I'm sorry I didn't explain it much better. So, my friend who owns the card shop, we went on a mini yarn crawl on my birthday, the day before my birthday, because her birthday is in January, and we're both knitters, and we love yarn, so we both went on the crawl. And for my birthday, she got me yarn. If you guys can't tell, I like purple a lot. You really can't tell in this view. So, the first yarn she got me is this beauty right here. So, sorry, gonna put it in. It's from Kaleidoscope's yarn. The prismatic color, incredible yarn. And it is in the Grapes of Stash colorway. How awesome is that? It is the single most awesome ever yarn I have ever seen. And it is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. There is 426 yards in this and 36 meters, and they are from Canada. And it is squishy and soft, and I have no clue what I'm going to make with it, but it's awesome. It's a sock yarn, but I feel like it wants to be like a shawl. You know? I feel like this yarn is screaming shawl. The other yarn my friend got is kind of one of my unicorn yarns. So this is Turtle Pearl. Self-striping socks and twin OC, essentially like an OCD skein. They match completely as long as you wind from the same end. And this is in the bruised colorway. The bruised colorway is 2 shades of purple and 2 shades of yellow. And they are awesome. Okay. So I'll read what's on here. So this yarn has been dyed to be self-striping. Both strands were dyed together. This will result in perfectly matched socks. And that can be easy to knit 2 at a time. For matching socks, ensure that you start from the same end. Apparently people were buying these, hearing they match perfectly, and started from opposite ends and got upset. It's kind of funny. None of those complaints also probably... Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. Anyways. Sorry. My phone was flashing at me. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It is 4-ply, 460 yards, 100 grams, 7 to 9 stitches in an inch. And you can find her at Turtle Pearl at artfire.com or turtlepearl.etsy.com. And the reason why I call this one my unicorn yarns is when I give out my card for freelancing as graphic design work, my logo is yellow and purple. So I have a lot of yellow and purple yarns, notebooks, if I can find them. Sorry, I just love the color combination. Right? Isn't it? It's me. It's me. It's a very me color. So this is what my friend, Skullgirl on Ravelry got me. These 2 beautiful, gorgeous yarns. Then Martini from the Brain Shutting Off from Sinister Knits dyed me some yarn for my birthday. And it is in Passionately Smashing. Custom, one-of-a-kind colorway just for me. It's purple and it's yellows and it's a variegated purple and yellow. So she said she tried to make this sort of like self-striping in a way. So she tried her best to make this self-striping. So half of it was dyed purple and half of it was dyed yellow with splatters in it. It is awesome and it's a worsted weight, so I'm thinking either a hat or a cow. I have a large collection of sock yarn. I love sock yarn, don't get me wrong. I make a lot of shawls and stuff, but these are so squishy and awesome. And it's the first ball band with her new logo, which I did not make, but I know the artist who did, and I kind of fangirl over that artist a lot. Flat Bear is an amazing artist, don't get me wrong. You have to see Flat Bear. Here. The final squishy that I have to show you all is right here. Yes, it is that bright. It is that awesome. And it's Manos del Uruguay Merino. It is the lace. And it is 100% superwash wool, 847 yards. It's 3.5 ounces, or 100 grams. And this was spun by Bianca, because I'm not even going to try and attempt to say what the lens is. So it's a single lace, and it's so soft and squishy, and I just want to... Sorry. It's just so soft and squishy, and the colors are so bright, and I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I loves it. I almost wish I had enough to do a even star with it, but I've got some nice neutrals from my even star. So that is all of my squishies. I love my squishies. Sorry. The squishies make me happy. I'm just quickly putting away the squishies. I have swallowed some of the squishies. So that's my squishies. So I do kind of have 2 more sections, even though I kind of feel like I sped through the squishies. So one of the things I have is I do want to talk about some books that I have actually right here on my drafting table beside me as... Sorry, that was Starbucks. Starbucks was sitting on my books. So the first book I want to talk about actually relates to the title of the podcast, which is Graphic Stitches. So if you can't see, so it's a calligraphy book. As I said, I went to school for graphic design. I'm a junior graphic designer. My passion, one of the parts of graphic design that I really fell in love with, and actually surprisingly enough, the thing about graphic design that drew me in is illuminated manuscripts and typographic illustration and calligraphy and all that. So I tend to buy books. Now I haven't actually gotten a chance to crack into this, and I've had it for a few months now. But one of the things I like about it, for like things like on here, on how to show you how with the broad dip pins, like the angles of your hands, some neat old school dip pins, and like sparse ink flow versus correct ink flow, practice sheets. But like, I know there's a lot of script font nowadays and stuff. So that's actually a proper copper plate, which is beautiful. Mixing color mixes too. I'm sorry, my desk lamp is a daylight lamp and just makes looking at books really hard. Some really neat patterns and designs for flourishes that you can do. I love it. And the type of artwork that you can make with just writing and dip pens and brushes and brush pens and all of these like analog design, you don't really get to see that anymore. And so I just, that's one of the things I want to show you, not necessarily today, but in the future I would like to show, like, just maybe if I can work it out, like little tiny speed drawings of words and stuff. I mean, they're beautiful. It even shows you how to make your own quill pen. That's pretty neat. And annoying. I've made them before. I find it annoying. I don't think I made it properly, but it's just being able to show how to do it is interesting. So, and this was an $8 book. And look, it's thick. I love books. And the other 2 books that I have here kind of show not only my nerdiness, but my love of the horror story. So Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. I do want to read Pride and Prejudice. I'm also petrified of zombies. And I love this book so much. I actually read to chapter 12 online at work before getting fed up because the place I was reading it from, I couldn't keep my, could not keep my proper place. But I can in this one. I just kind of put it on my desk and wound up getting distracted. Right now, 10 out. My friends and family laugh because I also bought the comic version. I bought the comic version of this book. And I'm petrified of zombies, but certain things I can look at. And this is just words. I can imagine it however I want. However I want. Just, you know, don't look at like, what was it? I can imagine it however I want, just don't look at like that picture. Right here. Zombie mother and child. That is creepy as all get out. So creepy. And then, this book, which I love, and I've kind of read through, not in order. It's like an encyclopedia of ghost stories. I love ghost stories. They're interesting. Because, and I know I'm putting it away, I have a few kind of like encyclopedic books of ghost stories, and, encyclopedic in the way that there are a bunch of different ghost stories from different places and locales. But the reason I like it is you also get to learn, like, a history of the place. So here's our ghost. Here's why this ghost is haunting. But that's me, and that's my part of my nerdy thing. So those are some books that I'm currently reading right now. So that is that. I should note, okay, at this point, guys, I'm gonna say this. There's no more yarn content for this podcast, but I do have one last section, which I've shamelessly titled Adventure Time, which just, I guess, tells about my day, or tells some interesting things that I found, or something like that. And the most interesting thing to me, I guess, right now is the fact that today I got to meet up with Eric from Sticks and Twine, which I've mentioned a few parts in this podcast, but we met up at Purple Pearl, and we got to sit and knit and talk for a while, and oh my god, that window seat was driving me nuts. I don't know why that popped out, but no, it was really fun. He's a really great guy, and getting the chance to meet him in person and knit and talk and just kind of pick at each other's brain, sort of. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I can't wait to meet up with him again. We talked about at least seeing each other at the Frolic, if not sooner, if we can. And I'm so happy that I have a new knitting friend. And you guys, his exploration station is gorgeous. The colors on the screen, they're not, like, from his yarn, nothing compared to what they are in real life. I mean, that green is, oh my god. Grand Central Station ceiling, for sure. Yes, definitely. I think that was that one. Just the colors are so amazing, and they really are very reminiscent of New York. I've been there, and it brought back nice memories, and he's a sweet guy, and just, it was fun. And the fact of the matter is, we're both in the design industry. It was so fun because we got nerd about design and Pantone and notebooks and yarn, and I can't wait to hang out with him again. And I feel so bad because I'm like, I'll tell you more about it. And my brain's like, yarn, books, awesome. And there was a discussion about cheese. I don't know how we got into that. But yeah, and it's very fun because it was at the Pearl, which is a really nice place to just come in and sit and knit. So just being able to go down there at least maybe once a month, because it is a bit of a schlep for me. I live far from there. But yeah, no. 10 out of 10 definitely would do again. Also had the fanciest toast and bacon in my life for breakfast. Shut up, bacon's tasty. Like, oh my god, tasty. And it's definitely... a very nice, relaxed place to knit. The community and the store is great, and you can just the help that you get there from other knitters or the store owners. And Purple Pearl also has like this little cafe place in it. It's really nice. They have Stewart's Pop, which is so tasty. I feel like such a kid. But yeah, no, it was... I don't know what else to say. We sat, we talked, we knit, and I got him a little present that I was just being able to see the look on his face when he opened it. It was amazing. I like giving presents. I have a problem. But yeah, my brain has kind of gone to mush. I wanted to describe it more. I feel like I was very inadequate at describing it. So next time I podcast for Adventure Time, I guess I'm going to have to write out a bit more. Brioche is really squishy. I came away with that too. Brioche is very squishy. I should learn how to knit that. Yeah. Also, as I said, he got to see this crazy up front. So, you guys have a screen of protection. That was bad. But it got to the point where I'm kind of at that stage. So on that note, may your fiber follies be few, and happy knitting. Later days. Bye! Hey everybody, so I remembered the part of Adventure Time that I had totally and completely blanked on! Yeah, that sounded weird. Anyways, in the midst of all the fun and talking and hanging out with Eric that I did, we did touch briefly on this and a few things. He gave some really great advice that he himself got, which is basically just be yourself. This podcast is yours, it's you. Just be yourself. That's all you have to be, and if people like it, they like it, and if they don't, they don't. That's one thing. Another thing that I'm totally forgetting right now. No. So we talked about it. We touched briefly, I touched briefly on how I had a podcast previously, and just things happened, and then I got nervous, and which is why he told me that advice. Another thing is, I was thinking about recording today, which I obviously have, because this has popped up. And, so yeah. So as we were leaving the store, I think it was, I don't know who brought it up, but we were talking about the podcast again, and then it was brought up that, kind of written in yarn. Yarn's important. I mean, it was set in a yarn store, so it had to be done. What I mean by that is, talking about recording the podcast today and putting it out there and starting up was mentioned in the yarn store, and you don't disrespect things that are mentioned in the yarn store. If you set it in a yarn store, it has to happen, so it was written in yarn. More important than being written in stone, more important than being written in blood, it was written in yarn. But yeah, it's still fun, just talking about the stuff. Also, podcast is kind of like a kick in the pants. You're held accountable for what you do. You can't laze away, and it's just embarrassing if you do. And that was... I don't know why I said it like that. So yeah, so that's, my shtick. That's what I totally forgot earlier when I was recording, because you can see the light is different. But it's said and done, and it's recorded, and I'm happy, and... yeah, it just came to me. Honestly, what I wanted to say came to me in the middle of dinner with my brother. It's good, but they don't cook meatballs all the way through. Sorry, we went to a place called Pickle Barrel. It's good. It's Jewish style type cooking, surprisingly, and yet they have chicken parmesan there. I can't explain that one. I'm whited out. I'm sorry. I didn't have the dessert that came with my meal, and yet I'm still hyper. I blame the ice cream, man! I just have weird allergies, so I don't eat a lot of sweets. Surprisingly. Okay, I do. What I can eat, I eat a lot of. But yeah, no. So, that happened. And, yeah. So that came to me at dinner, and I put it in there. So, if I'm editing this pop in there, that's totally awesome. And if I'm just being lazy and slapping this on the end of my video, later days. Bye, guys.